Okay, so what we're doing today is we're continuing what we were talking about last time about genetics, except for last time I warned you that we're going to take the Punnett squares and make them more complex. Well, today's we're going to make them more complex. So, yeah, we're doing is chapter 7.3, and it goes with the standard that we were talking about last time, solving equations and multi-step problems. So, last time we talked about crossing a heterozygous and a homozygous male or female, male and female, and crossing them together. So what's a heterozygous male? Christian, what's a heterozygous male? Rachel, can you help him out?
Different alleles.
Different alleles. So give me an example.
So it's like big A, little a.
Big A, little a. Perfect.
Dominant, non-dominant.
Dominant, recessive. Yes, close. So, and then cross it. We're going to cross it with just another heterozygous. So big A, little a again. And so what would the results be?
Isn't it just big A, little a? Or big A, big A.
So what's the first step you have to do? We're doing Punnett square. What's the first thing you have to do?
Draw the box.
You have to draw the box. If you do not draw the box, how far can you go?
Not far.
You can't do anything. Please draw the box and draw it correctly. So, what goes on top? What goes here?
A.
Yep.
Big A.
There we go.
Recessive A.
Recessive A, little a. Right here?
Dominant A.
Dominant A.
Recessive A.
Recessive A. In this case, they're both the same. Does it matter if the mom or dad goes up top?
No.
Not at all. It's going to cross the same. Okay, so what's inside the box?
Big A, big A.
Big A, big.
Dominant, recessive.
Recessive.
Dominant, recessive.
You guys say big A, little a.
Recessive.
I say big A, little a all the time.
Okay.
That's what I pronounce.
So it's a 3/4 chance.
So, the genotypic ratio, what is it? And what's the phenotypic ratio?
75.
So the phenotypic, you're right, is 75% dominant and 25% recessive. We know that because you got dominant here, dominant here, dominant here, and just one little recessive. What's the genotypic ratio?
Is it
I
3 to
forget
1?
how that one works.
Not 3 to 1.
4 to 1?
So for the genotypic, remember, what you're looking for is how many homozygous dominant you have compared to how many heterozygous you have compared to how many homozygous recessive.
So 1, 2,
1
1.
to 2 to 1.
Yeah, so you have 1 homozygous dominant,
That's right.
2 heterozygous, and 1 homozygous recessive.
Okay.
And that's the ratio.
Good.
So, that's what we did last time. We're going to take this, same concept, same basic squares, and we're going to hybridize it. And make it way more complex, but way cooler. Because that's what we do in biology. So, first, starting off with the PowerPoint. When we're talking about genes, we're talking about 2 alleles. Every gene uses 2 copies. You get 2 copies. Where do we get the 2 copies from?
Each parent.
Mom and dad. So the ones we're usually talking about, the autosomes. What's an autosome?
It's the chromosomes 1 through 22.
Perfect. Chromosomes 1 through 22. Some disorders that we're going to talk about, that we know about, can be passed down from one generation to the next. Christian, what's the disorder that can be passed down?
Autism.
Autism. That gets passed down. Autism, yeah. Another example is diabetes. Diabetes, if my grandpa has diabetes, my grandpa has diabetes. That means my dad and me have a higher likelihood of contracting diabetes. It means I have to stay healthier than the average Joe. Because I'm predisposed to have it.
Would it affect daughters the same as well?
Yes. So this one's not. Yes, this one would affect both guys and males and females. We're going to talk about other diseases that are more prevalent in males and females. But that'll be later on during the lecture. So, diabetes affects both the
I have
same.
a question.
Go for it.
Is AIDS passed down through genetics?
No.
Okay.
AIDS is sex.
Oh, that's right.
It's an STD.
It's a virus.
When we're talking about these disorders that we're going to talk about today, they can be dominant or recessive. In general, the ones I'm going to use as examples are recessive, but they can be dominant too. There are other ones that are dominant. I just don't like using those because they're not as much fun. So if they're recessive, what you call that is a carrier. So why do you think it's called a carrier?
Because it's rare to have recessive.
Yeah. So it's rare to have a recessive? Why else?
You can pass it on to your offspring.
Yeah. So I can be, let's say I'm colorblind. Okay, that's a bad example. So let's say like I said, my grandpa, he has diabetes. So he would be, we're gonna say that's a recessive one, even though it's not. He's recessive, but my grandma does not have diabetes. So that means all of their kids are gonna be this cross, right?
Mm-hmm.
Charles Square, okay. They're all gonna be heterozygous. Do any of them show diabetes though?
No,
Why not?
because it's recessive.
Yeah, it's recessive. They have this dominant D right here, the normal, that's preventing them from showing diabetes. So that's why they're called a carrier. They carry it because they have it, but they don't express it.
Not yet, anyways, right?
Right. In diabetes, it can come out, but most other ones, it doesn't come out.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones we'll talk about today. So, the next type we're going to talk about is what's called a sex-linked disorder. These are kind of like what you were getting at, Rachel.
Okay.
A sex-linked disorder is kind of like it says, it's attached to the X or Y chromosome. Just before you guys ask, it is not an STD.
No, thanks for
I knew
putting
that.
me on the spot.
So these are not STDs. So usually it's linked to the X chromosome, or it's linked to either the X or the Y chromosome. So if you're a male, what are you?
XY.
Yep, we are X, Y. What about female? What are you?
Double X.
XX. That was a Chinese symbol, didn't know.
I
So,
don't know, it's like a personal double leg.
so females with X linked, so these are X linked that I'm talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
With X linked diseases, you can be carriers. Guys, sorry, you can't. We either have it or we don't. Why?
So you only have one X chromosome.
Exactly. We have one X chromosome. If there's something wrong with our X chromosome, guess what?
Defective.
We show it. We don't have one to make up for it. Girls, you cheat. If there's something wrong with your X chromosome, you use the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So say there's something wrong with this one. There's like color blindness on it. You're not going to use that X chromosome. You'll ignore it. You'll only use the normal one. You'll be a carrier. Guys, if we have color blindness on our X chromosome, guess what?
You're colorblind.
We're colorblind. You don't have an option. Sorry. Sad day for you. Anyway, back on topic. Side note. Okay. So like I said, we, or males, we have a much higher likelihood of showing the sex-linked diseases because we don't have a safety net. Girls, you have a safety net, you cheat. One of the many ways girls cheat that we're going to learn about today. There's another thing that's called, so that's a sex-linked disease. When you're drawing these out, the way you do it is box. So yeah, you start with your box. Good job. So you still start with the box. So let's say in our case, the mother was colorblind, mom is colorblind, or is not colorblind.
So just
So it's
XX.
normal. Yeah, so she's XX, we think. And the dad is colorblind. What is he gonna be?
XCY.
X, little c, y. Perfect. So, draw the box. How do you do it?
X little CY on top. Or
Sorry, I did it here.
and XX top.
XX on top. So,
Huh.
the daughters are gonna have XX, little c, XX, little c, XY, XY. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How many of the sons will be colorblind?
None.
I would say 0, yeah.
Okay. None of the sons get it
Because you ignore the colorblind.
because we don't have it.
Oh.
Because since the dad is colorblind, is he gonna give one of his sons the X chromosome?
And it only transfers over to Y.
Exactly. We're guys. We have to have the Y chromosome. The only way we get that Y chromosome is from our dad.
Mhm.
So males, we determine the sex of the baby. One of the few things we actually do. Congratulations. Females, all of his daughters though, what do you notice? What are they gonna be?
Carriers.
They're all carriers. So let's take one of his daughters and say they got married to just a normal male. Right? So what's the male's genotype gonna be if he's normal?
XY.
Yep, just XY. So what's their daughters gonna? What are their kids gonna look like?
XX, XCX.
XX, XCX. Sorry.
A colorblind daughter.
XY. What's this one?
XC1.
Uh-huh. So,
So 25% chance of being a colorblind son.
yep. So, with sex-linked, you have to be careful with the ratios. With the ratios. You have to do a ratio for the males and a ratio for the females. You can't say 25% chance of being a male colorblind.
It's 50 then, huh?
It'd be a 50% chance male colorblind or 50% male normal. I guess you could say 25. That would work.
Or
Ratio would be 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. So it's an S ratio. What's the likelihood of being a colorblind female?
No.
None.
Yeah, you can't be. You
You're a
can only be
carrier.
a carrier. Good job.
Wait,
So-
so the carrier ratio, like, it goes down unless the guy is colorblind as well.
Correct.
Okay.
The female ratio will go down unless the male is colorblind. If the guy is colorblind, all of his daughters will be carriers. Why?
Because the XC, little c,
Yeah.
transfers over.
Because he has to give his daughters his X chromosome. Or he has to give his sons his Y chromosome. That's the way it works. That's sex linked. There's another thing that's similar to sex linked, but not quite. Sorry.
No.
It's what's called X chromosome inactivation. What does that sound like?
It didn't work.
Close. Didn't work. It turns off. So kind of like what I was talking about with the humans. If you have a colorblind female, you're not going to use that one.
Mhm.
So you'll inactivate that one, and you'll only use this one. So that's kind of X chromosome inactivation. A better example is in cats. Do you guys know what a calico cat is?
Yes.
What's a cat? In case you don't, there's a picture of a calico cat. It's so cute. Everybody say aw.
Aww.
Good job. So if you look at the fur, the calico cat, the color, both orange and black are found on the X chromosome. So if you look throughout their body, right here the black chromosome has been inactivated. Over here the orange chromosome has been inactivated. Will you ever see a calico male?
No, because there's no Y.
Well, there is a Y, so you can be only the either or.
Yeah, so for a male you either have to be orange or black. You cannot be a mixture. You don't have two X chromosomes. You can't inactivate your X chromosome.
Is that why most male cats are black?
Yep, they're either orange or black. What happens if you inactivate your X chromosome and you're a male?
You're just
You're dead.
Yeah.
You're dead. Don't turn off your X chromosome. It doesn't end well for us.
Don't do
So-
that.
So that's a sex-linked disorder. I will alternate between disorder and disease. I use both interchangeably. It is a disorder. I say disease half the time though. So just as a heads up.
Wait, so girls can be just black as well, like for
Yeah.
cats?
Yeah. For
Yeah,
the
'cause
calico,
Would it be
I have
more
black.
recessive?
it wouldn't be more recessive. It'd just be the dad gave a black gene and the mom gave a black gene.
So that was the percentage I got. Because
Yeah.
I have 4 black and white cats. Well,
Yeah.
1 black hat. I only have 2.
So it
Yeah.
comes down to what the parent was. So if the mom was a calico, so if mom was calico and dad was black, then you got the mom's black and the dad's black.
Okay, and there'd be a slimmer chance of orange.
Well, they wouldn't have orange. Their chromosome would be. That's all I have. Whereas it would have been a 50-50 shot of being calico or black, and they got the 50 that was black.
Alright.
Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is codominance. Codominant is basically when both genes, both alleles are fully expressed and neither one is hidden.
So like that calico cat, it was orange and black.
Kind of. That's X chromosome
black.
activation. That turns off a chromosome. This is both chromosomes are fully shown.
Oh, so it would be all orange and black, no white?
Yes. Well,
So
white's
it's like Mendel's spotted plants.
yeah, the
plants.
Mendel, the spot brown. So the way you write a codominant is by both. You know how with heterozygous I always stress the uppercase and lowercase. In codominance, they are all uppercase. That's what it says on there. In case you can't read them. So they're all uppercase. So give me two colors. We were talking about Mendel's flowers.
Red and white.
Red. So red would be big R, big R. What would white be?
Big W, big W.
Big W, big W. Perfect. So if you cross those, so you have the. I'm good.
Sorry.
I'm good.
He pre-planned this. He knew you were gonna say it.
Oh yeah, I'm good. So you got red and white. You cross those two flowers, and what do you get?
Pink.
Yeah, try again.
Oh, I mean.
RW, RW, RW.
Yeah, you get RW. And with incomplete dominance, or with codominance, you're incomplete.
Yeah.
You got your red and white flower right here. If you cross them together, you get a red and white striped flower.
That's so cool.
Or you can get a half red, half white flower.
I like that one.
That one's cooler.
Yeah, they're both very pretty
More
flowers.
Cool.
They're both very pretty. So that's codominant. As you see, if you look at that, both genes are fully expressed. So you have the red and you have the white.
Okay, but if
Both.
they're a little R and little
Uh-huh.
W, it would be a mixture and
It'd
like
be
the.
incomplete.
It'd be incomplete. We're gonna talk
And
about
they
that.
would
I gotta check
make
it
it
real
pink.
quick. Is it still recording? Oh yeah, we're still good. Still working. I'll spray it. Turned off. Okay. I heard a noise. Okay. So the one that you're at. Okay. Before we go on to that, the
Okay.
pink, that's incomplete dominance. Codominance. An example that I want you guys to use. It's not accurate. It's not real. Well, it's a real animal, but it's not an accurate. Is a zebra. If you look at a zebra, you see both the black and the white.
Mhm.
With codominance, you see both traits, black and white. Okay. Humans, we use codominance as well, but we use it in blood type. So what are the blood types for humans?
O.
There's O blood
B,
type,
A.
B, A,
AB.
and AB.
Ah, I knew it.
So,
O,
with
A.
all the blood types, we say they're B, O, A, and AB. Really, all of them have two like this. My blood type is B positive, but my genotype is B, O.
Bad odor.
I'm gonna say my genotype is that. So I'm BO. My fiance is also BO. I'm not gonna. I'm
So you're
positive.
not
She's
bad
negative.
spelling kids.
I'm positive. I'm BO positive. I'm B positive. She's B negative. So cross us. What are our kids gonna have?
Bad odor. Sorry. Okay. B O B O B O B O. No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah.
Double B, double O, B O, B O.
Yeah.
So 1 2 1.
So we're gonna be. They're either gonna be homozygous B, heterozygous B,
I would just
And double O.
or O. Yeah. So we can have O blood type. So what do you notice about all those letters?
Capital.
They're all capital.
Dumb.
So they're all dominant, they're all codominant. That's why they're codominant, because they're all capital. So you can do that with all blood types. Again, with blood type, make sure you write 2 letters. There will be questions about these.
I have a question for the AB.
Uh-huh.
Is it, how would you write that in a, would it be AB and then O?
Put on a square.
No, like if you were to times them together, see how yours is BO over
Oh.
times BO? Would it be ABO or just AB?
Well, let's try it. So let's see. So you're saying A, B, O crossed with what?
Whatever, like BA.
be AB.
AO.
We're just gonna go with A.
Oh,
What
is
do you
there
notice?
always an O there?
Well, great. What do you notice?
All capital.
Okay. How many are on this side?
3.
How many are on this side?
2.
2. Oh, okay, so you do a 3 by 2.
I'd always, you have to have ABO on
So
the
the
other
O
side
is-
too, right?
With AB, you have both blood types.
Oh,
both of
okay,
them.
so you could, for the AO, you don't even have to have the O, it could just be an A, straight A.
You always have to have 2.
So it could be double A.
So it could be double A.
Oh, okay.
Like we saw in the previous punch that I erased, it could be BB. It could be AA also. AB is already
Yeah.
already a genotype of 2. So if you ever writing it out and you're like, well, let's put 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3,
It's wrong.
your person is dead. Please don't put that many letters. They're dead. So yeah, always 2. That's it. Lost my eraser. Get back your eraser. Okay. So I'm gonna erase that. So we're gonna go on now. The next thing we want to talk about, this will be our last one for today, is incomplete dominance. Well, real quick, does anybody in here know their blood type?
I can check.
I don't know. Do you know yours?
So I'm B, because since we're talking about it, like I said, I'm B positive. So what does that mean for me? So what-
BO.
I don't know what the second one is. I could be either BO or BB. Doesn't matter. So when you look at blood, what these letters mean, the A, B, and the O. So A, for our sake, we're going to say there's a squiggly on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the protein on the A. The B is going to have an arrow. What's the AB going to have?
Both.
Yep, it's going to have a squiggly and an arrow. What's the O gonna have?
None.
Nothing.
Decimal.
So since I'm B positive, who can I receive blood from?
Only B.
So I can receive it. I can receive it from B, and I can receive it from O. B is easy to know. They have arrows. I have an arrow. I'm not gonna reject it. My blood will not recognize that as foreign. What happens if I receive an O?
It'll just attach the
recognizes-
proteins to it, right?
It won't attach to proteins. What'd you say?
It recognizes the O and takes it anyways.
Well, yeah.
So
It looks
works
at
for
this.
anybody. It's like a transfer.
O is a universal donor.
Yeah.
O doesn't have any proteins, so our cells are gonna come look at it and be like, are you foreign? Well, you don't have any markers on you, so I guess you're normal. And it'll ignore it.
And I'll let it pass.
What if somebody gave me an A blood type transfusion?
You'd be
Your body
sick.
wouldn't accept it.
My body would reject that like no tomorrow,
And
and
you'd be
it
sick.
would
yeah.
very likely kill me.
Really?
Receiving the wrong blood type is very dangerous. Most cases you die, some cases you survive, and your body just does a massive attack on itself. Because the way our body
It tries
attacks,
to cleanse itself when it's sick and stuff.
the way our body attacks, it's not just gonna hunt for specific cells.
All.
It's gonna find an area and attack, and everything dies. So it'll be killing my blood cells and the donor blood cells. I'm already
you'd
low
be
on
killing
blood.
Yeah, you're gonna kill yourself slowly anyways.
I would die very. It wouldn't be slowly. It'd be fast. Your body attacks fast. What about? Okay, so that's mine. Did you figure out yours?
A positive.
A positive. So
Awesome.
you're the exact opposite of me. You can receive A and O. What if you were AB?
You can take all of them.
Yep. You can receive A. You can receive B. You can receive A, B, or you can receive O. You are the universal receiver.
And if you're an O, you're screwed with
Yeah.
just an O.
If you're O, you can only receive from O.
Sad day.
What if you gave somebody an O, an A blood type?
It would do what you
It
said.
would just attack.
Massive rejection. Bad idea. AB, they can receive from anybody. AB positive is the universal receiver. O negative is the universal donor. They have no proteins at all in their blood, so they can give to anybody.
But they can only receive from somebody who has O negative.
O negative, yes. Okay, that's just blood. That's just a fun little topic to talk about.
Okay.
I like blood. Incomplete dominance. We're out of time. We're technically out of time by now. That's okay, we're gonna do incomplete dominance because I like it. Incomplete dominance is like you were saying earlier, Christian. What did you say it was? How do you write it?
Little ones.
Little
Little
r,
R,
little
little R, little W, little W. So
Line.
you can get pink.
Yep, that's where you get pink from. If you cross, so incomplete, literally, like when you actually think about it, think of it as a mix. You mix your two blood types, or not blood types, you mix your two genes together.
It blends.
So again, you take your red and white flower, you mix them together, and you get a pink flower. It's so pretty.
That's if they're incomplete dominant.
It's incomplete dominance. The only way you will know if a trait is codominant or incomplete dominance until you're my level is if I tell you. I will tell you it's incomplete dominant, or I will tell you it's codominant.
Wait, how do you know if a flower is, like, just a random flower is dominant or incomplete dominant?
By that, looking at their offspring.
Oh, really? That's the only
Yeah.
way?
You have to do the offspring.
So you can't do, like, microscope it? No. Okay.
You have to do the offspring.
Oh, okay.
So, the way I want you guys to think about incomplete dominance, again, this is not an accurate example, but it works, is a mule. You got parts of the donkey, you got parts of the horse, you put them together, you get a mule. That's really a hybrid, but that works for us. So are there any questions about incomplete dominance? I know I talked about it really fast. We're going to talk about it more next time. What I want you guys to do right now, in your groups, I'm going to give you guys a paper. I'm going to give you guys a handout. On this handout, I want you to answer these questions. Half of them are codominant, half of them are incomplete dominant, half of them are just normal crosses. That's 3 halves, because really it's thirds. So make sure you, Christian, I need that.
Oh, you want us to do this on a separate paper? Yeah, what's that piece of paper?
Wait. Working out. Okay. Wrapping up. Okay, fast forward. Okay, finishing up. We're out of time. Can't believe you ruined that. So, just as a recap for the day, what's codominant?
It's when both alleles are fully expressed.
Okay. So co is both. What's incomplete?
Mixed.
Mixed. Okay. And what's a sex linked?
Well, normally it's attached to the X chromosome, but it's a genetic disease or something that's attached to a specific chromosome.
Yeah, it's attached to the X or Y chromosome. Perfect. We're going to talk more about this next time. We're going to keep going into this, and we're going to make it more difficult by bringing in polygenics, which are basically the dihybrids we were talking about last time. More intense.
Okay.
All right, any questions for me? Good.
No.
Even if there are, I'm not answering them. Just kidding.